The last function that we're going to look at as part of the text functions training in Excel is a few small functions that are very useful when it comes to manipulating text and data within Excel. You'll find this in the text functions workbook in the last sheet called left, right, len, mid. So in this particular one, what we would like to do is over here in column I, we have the office location for each of our employees. This is broken down into the building they're in. For example, this is lab. The second 2 digits is the floor that they're on, and the last 4 digits is their extension. So let's start off with the left function. If I wanted to only pull out the first 3 characters from the left of my text string, I could use the left function. And it's not only 3 characters, it's the number that you specify. So for example, this cell over here, comma, how many characters do I want to extract? In this case, let's say 3, and that will give me only the first 3 characters. But for column J, we're actually trying to calculate the telephone extension. So in that case, we will use the right function, and that will calculate number of characters from the right of a text string. So we click on this text string that we want to manipulate. Number of characters in this case would be 4, and we are able to get our extension number in its own column. You can then copy this function down to work for all the other entries. The next thing we're going to look at is the building name, which we did start doing to show you how the left function works. However, we come with a bit of a problem because this is the text string, but the number of characters are changing based on every single entry being different. So what you need to do now is have a look at this text string and see, is there a similarity between all this data? Every person has a building name, but they are all different in terms of text string size. They all then have the little dash minus sign. Then we've got 2 characters, a space, and then 4 characters. So ideally what we'd like to do is we'd like to calculate the total length of the entire text string and deduct the balance on the right to be left with the building name. And how we do this is inside of our left function where it says number of characters, we put in a function called len. So we are nesting the len function within here. The len function returns the number of characters in a text string. So we want the length of this entire text string. And then once we've got the length of it, what we would like to do is make a deduction of the balance. So if we had to count how many are left after the building name, it would be the small minus sign, which is a character, 2 numbers, which are 2 characters, so that makes 3. Don't forget to count the space, which is 4 characters, and then the extension, which is another 4. So we want to remove 8 after we have calculated the length. We will then close our left function and select enter. This will now deduct the balance from our total length. Using the left function, we'll be able to calculate our building name only. The last function, which is very important inside of Excel, is something called the mid function. And I know that this often gets used in the banking industry because when you apply for a credit card, you have 4, 8, 12, 16 characters on your credit card. However, you don't realize that every group of numbers means something to the bank. So sometimes what they would need to do is only pull out the second group of 4 characters. Now you can't use the left function and you can't use the right function. So instead you need to use something called mid, which allows you to extract data from the middle of a text string, giving it a starting position and a length. So you would select the text you want to manipulate. The start number is where do you want to start. So if you count the number of characters, there's 4 in the beginning, plus a space, which is 5. So you want to start on character number 6, and from there you want to extract 4 characters. this should now give you your second pair inside of your text string.